There he is. There go my hump. There we go. Now let's make it happen. You heard me. Jackie, turn off the please, my love.
I don't turn around.
Hump.
What's up? What you on?
Hey, Hump, what's going on?
I'm good. I'm good. How you doing, fam?
I'm blessed, man. First and foremost, thank you for taking out time to come hang out with me for a minute, Unc. You know I appreciate you. I know you're a busy man trying to make things shake and make the world a better place. So first and foremost, thank you for taking the time out.
That's right.
So what I do here, what I'm doing on these KIU conversations is just giving out flowers and roses to individuals who I've always looked up to,
Uh,
individuals who've been positive impacts on my life, on the
right.
community. So it was a must I bring you on there because you know you top of the list.
I appreciate it. I was trying to figure out how do I pronounce your name?
They call me the voice, you know what I mean? But it's young wine for people from the city. But a lot of the people that know
No,
me in my older, they call me
the,
the voice, huh?
the voice. I like the voice. That's what's up, baby.
But
The
see,
voice.
when we culminate the interview, you're gonna see how important your compilation and everything is into my name and exactly who I am. Because I told you before, but it was briefly. So you gonna when we tie it all in, you're gonna be like, you got to be kidding me.
That's what's up, baby. It's good.
So let's
It's good. I
start from the
appreciate it.
let's start from the early days. What high school did you go to?
I went to Mission High School. I'm trying to turn this light on right quick.
Okay.
That's better.
Yeah, I can see
I
you
think it
shining.
is.
There you go, shining like new money.
Yeah, I went to Mission High School.
Okay. Um, how would you describe your household growing up?
We was a closely knitted family. Was raised by a single mom.
Hmm.
I had a total of 5 brothers, 3 sisters. And we was, you know, into different activities in the streets, cars and stuff of that nature. And 2 of my brothers got killed.
Mm.
So now it's 3 of us left.
Do you think
Yeah.
the demise of your brothers motivated the message that you push so hard?
That right there had definitely had an effect on it. And but it was more the message. I was already in the process of doing the message because of being in prison and being around convicts. So prior to coming out, my whole mindset was just on unity and militancy and just being productive, being positive.
Hmm.
And I think a couple of years after my brother got killed, and that's when I ended up doing the first compilation.
Okay. When you started to think about the message and when you said you was locked up, was it somebody or something that planted that seed to make you start thinking forward?
You know what? It's like, everybody that go to jail, the
Hmm.
first thing they do is pick up a book,
Hmm.
pick up the Bible, and that's what I did.
Hmm.
I picked up a book and I started reading the Bible, and then I got affiliated with some homeboys that was older than me, that was mature, that was about the black power movement and the unity, and they sort of like brought me in. I was a youngster at the time,
Hmm.
so they sort of like brought me in and gave me some structure on, this is how we're gonna operate, this is how we're gonna maneuver, this is what's required, and so I gravitated toward that,
Mm.
and I went from reading, the Donald Goines books to the other books to the other books to the other books, and now I'm addicted to reading books of any type of book, that I can get some knowledge from, you know.
Hmm. How would you describe Hunters Point for you growing up? If somebody else asked you, how would you describe the landscape and the environment?
Man, Hunterspoint, it was beautiful. Hunterspoint was a beautiful place because when I was growing up, it was all Hunterspoint. It was from West Point to Harbor Road to Oakdale to Double Rock, Bishop Corner, 3rd Street, and every other little set in between was considered Hunterspoint. And it was beautiful because you was able to leave West Point and go to Oakdale because you have family down there. You was able to leave, pick up one of the homies on Oakdale, and then ride to Double Rock, sit down and chop up game, play some sports, smoke some weed or whatever, and then you was able to leave Double Rock and ride to Harbor Road with no complications.
Yeah.
It wasn't no animosity, it wasn't no set tripping back there. Because it was all considered Hunterspoint. And that's when it was beautiful.
Okay. What am I about to say? What year did you get out the pen?
You know, I got out the pen in '89.
In '89?
I got out the pen in '89. I've done 2 years.
Okay.
I've done 2 years, and I got out because before I went to the pen, I was on crack.
Okay.
See,
yeah.
So I was on crack from when it first hit the scene in the Bay Area in '85, '86. I indulged. Prior to me getting addicted to crack, I was a baller.
Yeah.
I was the man. And I ventured off into that lane and got caught up. And for 2 years, I was on a downward spiral. You know, lost everything, lost my mind, was physically just unfit, relationships deteriorated. You know, I was practically homeless, you know, for the 2 years.
Yeah.
Because my whole objective was I just wanted drugs.
Yeah.
And I had the reputation prior to getting on crack of being the man. So everybody that was hustling, as soon as they see me, you know, they here you go, Herm.
Yeah.
They looked up.
Yeah.
And until I went all the way under and ended up going to the penitentiary. Went and done 2 years, got out. When I got out after 2 years, I had the attitude I have now. I was solid, and I for the first 28 days. And after the 28th day, I went and hung out I went to the bar. And at the time, I was like, man, I'm gonna do is drink and smoke some weed. So I was drinking, and the drinking lowered. The drinking lowered my resistance. And I come out the club about 2 in the morning, seeing this chick that I used to get high with, and she like, hey, Herm, it's good to see you. And we embraced, and she put that thing up close to me. And I'm like, man, come on, I got a room. So we go to the room, and I've been out 28 days doing good. We get to the room. She said, Herm, is it okay for me to smoke a cigarette? I'm like, yeah. She said, I got some crack in it. I'm like, I ain't tripping. I'm thinking I can resist the temptation.
Right.
She smoked the cigarette. We in the room. The cigarette get down to here, boys. It get down to here. And the temptation just grabbing at me. I said, let me hit that. Let me hit that. Hit that cigarette, and all of my positive thoughts flew out the window. I had about 800 in my pocket. I'm like, come on, bitch, we gotta go. And we bounced out, went through Sunnydale, seen some of the homies. I spent some money there. And for maybe the next 10 days, I was just on a mission. And the police that seen us all grow up in the hood, name was Max. He looked at me about 2 in the morning like, Herm, you on that shit again? And I couldn't even respond. He said, man, I'm taking your black ass to jail. And he took me to jail. Yeah, straight up. But this dude, Max was the police that if you selling weed, if you doing some minors, he ain't even fucking with you.
Right.
But he knew all my brothers. He knew everybody in the hood. He said, man, listen, say, Herm, you on that shit? He was so disappointed Because he knew what I was prior to getting on crack.
Yeah.
Man, I'm taking your black ass to jail. Took me to jail after 28 days, so I go back to the pen and do 2 more years. Right? Now, this right here is where everything really shifted for me. And this is where God came into my life. I get 2 years. I do the whole 24 months, 23 months. I'm 1 week away from parole. And a riot jumped off on the yard. And I got some literature in my cell. They found a knife and they snatched me up and sent me to the hole. So instead of me getting out next week, they gave me a whole nother year. Right? And after they gave me that whole other year, I had just quit smoking cigarettes. And when I went to the hole, the only thing that was in the cell was a pack of cigarettes and the Bible. And God spoke to me just like I'm speaking to you. He said, if you smoke the cigarettes, you smoking crack when you get out. I threw the cigarettes out, picked up the Bible, and that year went like this. Where God just guided me and lifted me up every single day. And when I got out, like in this right here, a lot of young people, build that relationship with the Lord, build that relationship with their lady, their children, and all that. And then when they get out, they abandon what enabled them to get through the circumstance. When they get out, they throw the Bible away, they neglect the kids, the wife, and all of that. So when I got out, I said, man, I'm keeping my Bible with me. And I read it every day today. It's been 30 years. So that's part of, my being incarcerated.
Okay. So after that last time coming out, when do you start thinking about, okay, I got to do something. I want to ball again, but I want to do it the right way this time. How do you start, putting that together?
You know what? I had 30,000. I'm back on my feet. I'm not using drugs. I got 30 racks. And I wanted to do something legitimate, just like you just said. rblposse, they was, they was my young homies.
Yeah.
They didn't know me at all when I was on crack. RBL, none of them guys, they didn't know me when I was balling or when I was on crack. But when I got out, I was considered the big homie.
Yeah.
Because I was short. And I'm on Harbor. I'm bringing a message. So one day, Black Chris came and said, Herm, man, we want you to come to the studio and say something on our tape. That was the lesson to be learned, the bamboo weed out. I'm like, all right. I ain't never been to the studio in my life.
Yeah.
I go down to the studio, never been to the studio. Go down to the studio, and that's my spiel. And that right there just gave me encouragement.
Okay.
And it gave me an outlet for the books that I've been reading, for the education that I've been acquiring. It gave me an outlet to express myself. And I'm always thankful and appreciative to Black Chris Embassy for that opportunity. So after that, I'm like, when they put their album out, I'm sitting on 30 racks. Their album was the momentum was going like this for 2 straight years. But after 2 years, the momentum started leveling up. And I said, man, I got so much good feedback from the message I put on there. I'm like, man, I want to do a spoken word message. Initially, it's just going to be me talking on like 5 different tracks. A A side and a B side, right? And Chris said, man, you might as well let us put a song on there. I'm like, yeah, how you going to get on RBL though, right?
Right.
Yeah, I would put a song on there. Yeah. So Black Chris inspired me and gave me, he gave me wisdom on, maybe you should do this and maybe you should do that. So I said, well, if I got Chris on there and I got his backing, my confidence level was sky high.
Mm-hmm.
So now I'm like, okay, well, let me reach out to JT, because JT was a hype artist and promoter in Field.
Yeah.
I didn't know it.
Mm-hmm.
I just heard of his music. I hooked up with JT at the skating ring. He like, oh yeah, homie, I'm doing for you, big bro.
Mm-hmm.
Me and him established a relationship. Then somebody said, well, you can't do a compilation. I didn't even know what a compilation was at the time.
Yeah.
I didn't know what a compilation was. I didn't know none of that.
Yeah.
I said, man, you can't do a compilation and not have Rapping Forte on it.
Mm.
So me and Forte had already had a relationship.
Okay.
So I went and got Forte. Then Chris Forte came in and said, man, you know you got to give a cougnut. You know?
Yeah.
I smelled jealousy.
Yeah.
So I'm like, man, okay, so I hooked up with cougnut.
Mm-hmm.
Then it just was a snowball effect. And then Nate Banks,
Mm-hmm.
the bankster, he had just got out the pen. And we up on Harbor, all just chilling, sitting on the rail, talking music. And Nate Banks just get out.
Mm-hmm.
So this fool started rapping, voice. I'm talking about, man, he rapped for like 40 bars straight.
Yeah.
Non-stop. Just spit.
Yeah.
Right? I'm like, man, I got to get you on the album. And that's how that happened.
Yeah.
But we was all homies, you know? And you know, then I just continued to get advice from different individuals like TC,
Mm-hmm.
Dan Hanson, until the product, Tony Jackson, the product was a finished product. I'm like, so that's what I do.
Mm-hmm.
It's one thing about me, I don't have a problem asking the next individual that's more knowledgeable than me about a situation. What should I do? How should I go about doing it?
Mm-hmm.
So I got that information, and and I made it happen.
Right.
Put that thing out, and it just took off.
What was once you got the actual music and the art together, what was the next step for you in the business, like far as getting the business part of it, like to get it out?
You know, it was like Tony Jackson. Tony Jackson was RBL manager.
Okay.
And he was always around, so he started advising me, and he became my manager.
Mm.
And he said, well, Herm, you got to get the fictitious business name. That's when I put this thing right here together, Black Power Productions.
Okay.
Then, Herm, you got to do this. Herm, you got to do that. So I'm just going through the steps.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know about music people. I didn't know about the consignment. I didn't know when to drop the tapes off at.
Yeah.
So my initial run, I think I ordered 2,000 CDs, 2,000 cassettes, and 1,000 CDs.
Yeah.
That's when cassettes were selling.
Mm-hmm.
But when I ordered them, my goal was just to impress Hunterspoint, some film of the local. My expectations weren't high. Nobody's expectations was high.
Right.
But when I put it out there, Joe Creative Music.
Mm-hmm.
Took them to him first, the 3rd Street Record Shop on 3rd.
Yeah. Took
it to them, and they like, go. Like, Herm, you got some more? No, I didn't have no more. So now the pressure is on, so I had to order more. So I ended up ordering 5,000 and 5,000 or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then them sold. Now the distributors at City Hall, music people, they want to do exclusive deals. Mm. I'm scared. I'm not fucking with music people on nothing exclusive because of the relationship and the way they took advantage of rblposse.
Yeah, I got
you. They had a bad reputation. Mm-hmm. So I go to City Hall, and then the lady, her name was Vi, over at Rainbow Records in LA. Mm-hmm. She called me, said, Herm, listen, we got trust in you. You got a hot album. We'll press up 20,000 CDs for you, and we'll just give them to you. You pay us half, and we'll front you the rest. Mm-hmm. I'm like, all right. Yeah. But I'm building relationships. So I get them, take them to City Hall. Bang, they run through them. Mm. And it just kept going. Yeah. And yeah, it just kept going to where it ended up selling, 100,000 units. Ooh. Yeah.
It was like a snowball effect, basically.
It was a snowball effect. And it's like, as we go on, the album kept selling. Mm-hmm. So we doing shows. I would do like we doing high schools. We doing what's that? Rasputin's over in Berkeley.
Yeah.
We doing shows over there, and anytime RBL going out to Seattle, Portland, Detroit, I'm on their coattail.
Yeah.
See, it's like in the game, music game, corporate game, business game, whatever it is, the cannabis game, whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
You don't necessarily have to be the man. Okay, you got to have the discipline and the respect for somebody else and say, man, listen, I don't have to be the man. Let me just grab your coattail. Okay, and if y'all going this way, I'm going that way with you.
Mm.
And so that was part of my personality. That have always been part of my personality.
Mm-hmm.
I've always been. I mean, again, it's like I've been the man all my life.
Right.
From basketball to football to cars to community, I've always been the main attraction. So in this music thing, I never had a problem with. Okay, I'm following them.
Yeah.
And you guys should follow them too, because they're gonna take us to the next level, and if we can stay unified.
Right.
But that didn't happen. And unfortunately it didn't happen. It was, different conflicts ended up occurring, and shit just didn't materialize the way I know it should have, because I would always feel if everything would have stayed on track, rblposse, Harbor Road, we would have got that cash money deal.
Yeah.
We would have got that deal. And if everything, we would have got that type of deal. Right. Because we was the hottest thing moving. We was hot.
And like you said, at that time, we had San Francisco artists especially had a strong hold on Northern California music scene between RBL, Cougnut, and JT, the Bigga, Figga, and GLP, plus a host of other artists, the LCs, and a host of different others. But it's from starting that blueprint of the independent movement and being able to get out on your own and push your stuff and advertise it on your own. You know what I mean? That started with us.
Yeah, it did. And we capitalized on it, and what we did is it got to be acknowledged,
right?
Because we made a lot of things happen, and with the compilation, it created avenues for a lot of different individuals,
right?
For a lot of different artists. Some of the artists that was on that initial compilation, the momentum that they generated after that compilation was tremendous. Mm-hmm. So everybody capitalized, from being a part of that album. Right. From Selsky to Nate Banks to Rapping Forte. Rapping Forte ended up getting his deal after that album. rblposse was already hot, but what happened was the public was sitting back, because it had been 3 years. The public was sitting back like, man, what's up with RBL? Mm-hmm. Is they still coming with something? Yeah. And when they came, it's been a long time since I used my mind. Mm-hmm. The public was like, man, they even better. Right. Than they first album. Mm-hmm. You feel what I'm saying? It was like they even better than they first album. So that the song that they done on my compilation propelled them and established them with pre-orders for their upcoming album. Mm-hmm. Because the public is like, man, if they came like that on Herm compilation, yeah, that album was trying to be super hot. Right. And the next thing is like when we done that song, when we done the album, we meet at the studio one night. TC, the enhancer, RBL was there, cougnut was there, Sugar Bear was there, and JT pulls up. JT is just enthusiastic. Mm-hmm. And he got young baby boy. Yeah, he got young baby boy San Quinn and Demo with him. Mm-hmm. And he pulls up, and we all listen to his beats, right? JT with no hesitation. Man, we want that beat right there. Man, we ready right now, right? Mm-hmm. We ready right now. And they went in the studio booth, and they ripped it. I'm talking about they ripped it. They set the tone for the album.
So did you have you had a tape full of beats, Unc? that you just let everybody pick from, or how did you get the beats?
You know, TC and Enhancer was making the beats.
Okay.
And you know, the artists, like I said, I didn't know nothing.
Yeah.
The artists came in like, oh, TC, we want this, or TC, can you change it? So the artists picked the beats. JT came in and just heard the beat that he owned.
Yeah.
And with Demo, and said, we want that.
Yeah.
But the thing is, everybody was in the studio hesitant to go first. When JT went first, and San Quinn and Demo, they ripped it. Everybody was writing initially. Everybody, I swear to God, voice, everybody said, man, hey, man, we be back tomorrow. Did nobody want to rap?
Yeah.
Did nobody want to go? Everybody knew that the standards and the expectations had increased.
Right.
After JT dropped his verse.
Right.
So RBL went back, redone their shit. Cougnut went back. Everybody, didn't nobody rap that night after JT. But everybody went back to their tablets and said, man, shit, we gotta come.
Yeah.
You know, because there was a competitive, you know how we are. Rappers, athletes, you know, it was a healthy competitive spirit.
Yeah.
In the studio that night. Total respect. But that competitive spirit and the juices started flowing, and that was the best thing that happened for that compilation, because it made everybody else go and bring their A game.
What do you think it was, Unc, about why, or what was it about that era that the compilations did so good in that era? Why is that? Why do you think?
You know, I think it's because everybody wanted to be a rapper. But everybody didn't have rapping skills.
Okay.
Everybody wanted to be a beat maker, but everybody didn't have beat making skills. But everybody was getting money, thousands of dollars a day. Yeah. Fucking off 10 at the mall. So everybody was getting money. So when they sing, after I did it, they said, this motherfucker don't rap. He don't make beats. All he doing is talking. He's just putting up the money. Yeah. So I can do that, and I can do that. So everybody started doing it. Everybody started using their money from the hustle to create these compilations. And Master P, you know, he's a genius, just like JT the Bigga Figga. Master P, what he did, he looked at it like, okay, because he had just dropped that 99 Ways to Die. Yeah. Album. And he was getting a lot of flack from it because a lot of the record stores, the big chain stores, didn't want to take that record or sell that record because of the two guns. So he saw the shelves that and came with the compilation. But he already had a music store. He already was knowledgeable about the music business, the rap game. So he said, you know what? I'm gonna emulate what Herm did. But I'm gonna go out and get Sebo. I'm gonna go out and get RB. I'm gonna get all the artists on her that Herm had. Yeah. Plus get Herm to do the intro. Plus go get Sebo and Dub C. And he got a few other artists, you know, that was very well established. And when he done that, that propelled him. It enabled him to get down to Louisiana and bring it. And when he took the Bay Area game down there, he capitalized on it. You know, and you know, D-Shot compilation. Yeah. Cell Block. 4080 magazine. Sleep Tight had a compilation. Yeah. Who else? JT, Get Low Players. Man, there's just so many. Everybody had compilations. You know, and I'm grateful and thankful that I took the initiative and jump started that. And can't nobody dispute that. Can't nobody take that from me. And when individuals bring up the compilation thing, they gotta acknowledge, man, Herm was the compilation originator. Straight up. And that's something that I can hang my hat on. You know?
Without question. Whether they know it or not, what DJ Khaled do, every album is a compilation.
Yeah. yeah,
Every album he puts out, he talks on it.
yeah,
He gets a million different artists who don't work together or who haven't worked together, and he makes a compilation. He calls it his album,
yeah.
but it's a compilation.
Right,
You
right,
know what I
right,
mean?
right, right, right.
So
So
I think that during that era, I think those compilations was an act of diplomacy in a way. So
uh-huh.
it made it so that because before, well, for my era, when I, going to these other cities and being in these other places and concerts, sometimes it'd be tension. You know, the older generations had histories of going out there with Oakland and going to Vallejo and these different places. When the compilation
Right.
era came, now we in East Palo Alto, Vallejo, Mosswood Park in Oakland. We everywhere. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying?
Right.
And you got that olive branch because it's like, oh yeah, me and Bro in the compilation together. We work together. I know
Yeah.
this gentleman.
Yeah.
That's what I
Right.
think
Right. Right.
that was
Right.
what
Right.
it,
That's
that
right.
was great what
I
it
know.
started too.
I never. That was big. That's big. I never thought about it that way. But what you just said is absolutely right because when you do something or you got a different conversation now. It ain't just negative. It ain't just beef. It's like, oh man, we on the same album.
Mm-hmm.
We got the in-store together. Um, oh, he was at the studio when I was at the studio. So that's that's real valuable too. That's big.
And then kind of like how we had a circuit for Portland and all these different places, Bay Area artists had a local circuit that they traveled, and it was as a collective. I know because my cousin was in that collective, ATC, All Too Critical. So it'd be ATC,
Right.
RBL, IMP, 11.5, and it was like
Yep.
when people booked them, it was a whole thing. And when we got out wherever we was going, because I was a little baby, but when we got where we was going
Yeah.
and we was all there, everybody was together because we all from the city. You know what I mean? And
Right.
it just
Right.
created some camaraderie. You know what I mean, that we hadn't
Yeah.
had
Yeah.
in many moons.
Yeah.
Unc?
And that's big. Just like it's just like when you play Pop Warner Sports.
Yeah.
AAU basketball.
Yeah.
You remember those relationships, and you want to value those relationships. It's the same thing with the rap game because exactly what you said. We have been to Seattle with everybody you name,
Mm-hmm.
with
Mm-hmm.
Andre Nicotina, which is Dre Dog, as well as Steve Wilson, may he rest in peace. Selsky.
Mm-hmm.
It was just a whole group of individuals that would show up because and then this is what people don't realize too is when that first compilation came out with the RBL and the first getting the JT game recognized game and all that stuff first came out, they didn't really have no hot artists in Seattle, with the exception of Sir Mix-a-Lot.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't have hot artists as in Portland. In Detroit, they didn't have the artists. They didn't have the independent artists doing it the way we was doing it.
Yeah.
So people don't realize when our albums would drop and we were selling 100,000 units, 200,000 units, because Detroit about all the Bay Area stuff. Seattle, Portland, New Orleans, that was before Lil Wayne and Mystico and all them hit the scene.
Mm-hmm.
So they was all gravitating to anything Bay Area. I will never forget when we went down to New Orleans in '95.
Mm.
And it wasn't no hard artists. We was the shit. Our shit was selling out. We doing in stores. And Mystico, I met Mystico at that time.
Mm-hmm.
Mystico had just released y'all niggas can't fuck with me because I can't fuck with us. That shit had just released, right?
Mm-hmm.
And after that, that's when all the other local artists from different states start coming out.
Yeah.
But before that, the Bay Area was selling records in all over the country.
Right.
And doing shows.
Even the biggest artists right now, just for example, Drake. He said that in Canada, the only music that they could get when he was growing up was Bay Area music. So they heavily influenced and heavily into our culture. You know what I mean? That's all they had access to.
Yeah. We went to Canada. I won't never forget, man. We went to we had all performed in Seattle.
Mm-hmm.
And we went to Portland, Seattle, and so Canada started calling because we selling out shows, arenas.
Mm-hmm.
Canada started calling. We said, man, we coming. We dipped through Canada with no passports or nothing. They let us through, right? We go, yeah, they let us through. We go up there and we rock it, man. They was hesitant to let us through because everybody had ID except Hitman. Hitman was underage. But they said, man, we're going to let y'all through. They let us through just to go perform our shows up in Canada. Yeah, I will never forget that.
That's history right there.
Oh, yeah.
Switching over a little bit and talking about the message and what do you think are some qualities that make a good motivational speaker, huh?
You know, I think first you got to be sincere. And you got to practice what you preach. You can't be advocating stopping the violence or unifying the community or encouraging somebody, and then you go to the next event and shoot the thing up or knock somebody out. So you got to practice what you preach.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, being a motivational speaker, you got to have something intelligent, something inspiring to say.
Right.
And hopefully your audience gravitate to what you're trying to say. And you got to be consistent. You got to be consistent. You got to be consistently prepared to have something intelligent to say. If it's a 5-minute interview, if it's a 5-minute conversation, you got to be able to stand there and hold your own and say something to inspire somebody, to uplift somebody that may be having a difficult time, a challenging day, or just say something to put a smile on somebody's face that's going through just a negative routine.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
mm-hmm.
And you know that's what a motivational speaker should be able to do, and you know, encourage somebody and make them think like, you know what, I'm not going, you know, ain't nobody going to receive or apply every single thing. But if you saying something constructive, if you saying something respectful and positive, I'm going to be like, because I've been listening to you. Okay, if you saying something positive, constructive, I'm going to say, you know what, I'm going to take some of that. I'm going to take some of that. And I'm going to mix it up like a gumbo. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then I'm going to use some of my shit and mix it up. And I'm going to have something unique. Something unique to talk about. You feel me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's how we got to do it. Each one teach one.
There you go. Speaking of that, what is Blackboard Wednesday, huh?
You know, Blackboard Wednesday is like, I told myself, I said, you know what? I got material. I got material that I've been just gathering since '89. Like I said, when I got out the pen, everything that enabled me to survive the penitentiary, tablets of writing, reading, studying, holding this information, I got information. So I'm like, I want to create something to where, because I'm not a perpetrator.
Yeah.
Right? And I don't want to just be having a conversation about something that's irrelevant. So I said, you know what? Let me create something to where I know I'm speaking specifically about this. Okay, so I said, man, I'm gonna do the Blackboard Wednesdays. You know, I remember everybody in school, hey, go write on the blackboard. Go read that on the blackboard. That would make me come with the idea of Blackboard Wednesdays. So, you know, it's to just encourage somebody, and it give me the opportunity to keep my creative juices flowing. Because I don't want to become stagnant and stop growing. And you know, the people that listen to it, and if it's my loyal audience that's following me, if you listening to it and you paying attention to it, and if you're getting something from it on Wednesday that can propel you through Thursday and Friday and get you through the weekend, more power to the people. You know, and then the next thing is I read that guy Eric Thomas' book, right? And this right here is clutch. And it really inspired me, and it made me feel. It really. Dude said this. He created a video at a school, and it's called The Guru. I don't know if you heard of it. It's called The Guru. This dude done the video, and when he done the video, one of his homeboys just happened to record it. But he was chopping game just like we chopping game.
Yeah.
Just like I chopped game on Black Boy Wednesday.
Mm-hmm.
And he recorded it. And this was, he said, just right here, before Instagram really took off, he just, one of his other part, and that's another thing, I don't know a lot of this stuff. I don't know all the digital stuff. I need people that want to come in and say, Herm, I can help you get here, I can help you get here, we can do this and we can do that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm ready to make something happen.
Right.
I got the voice, I can speak. You got the voice, okay? Sometimes we got to collaborate and make something happen. So dude said, the one of his partners recorded it. The next dude said, man, look, let's just put it on Instagram. He said he put that thing on Instagram and he put it on YouTube. When YouTube first started, he said the video sat dormant for 3 years.
Mm.
Then suddenly, a football player that was looking for some motivation, something motivational to work out to, he took it and chopped it up and used dude's voice,
mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And put it, and he worked it out to him. Next thing you know, it blew up. Then Mayweather heard it and reran it. Then the Miami Heat coach heard it and reran it. LeBron James heard it and reran it. That's how he became Eric Thomas. Mm. You know what he make now? You know what he make right now for speaking? $50,000 an event just to speak. 50,000. Okay? Mm-hmm. And internationally, he make 100. Okay? So when I started the like I said, when I started Black Power Productions in the first compilation, my objective was to be a motivational speaker. Mm. And that's why there's a message on every album. Mm-hmm. You know, and my partner told me, Tony Jackson told me this. He said, man, Herm, it's like the public wants to hear the rappers, which is great. Mm-hmm. And because I love rappers. Mm-hmm. I'm a non-rapper that associate with the best rappers. Mm-hmm. Okay? But the public wants to hear the rappers, but they need to hear your message too. Mm. And so that right there gave me, you know, sometimes you can hear something from one of your partners, from your lady, or from an associate, and you be like, you know what? He right. Mm-hmm. Let me stay. Let me stay inspired. Right. You know? And because Rapping Forte told me years ago, I had my jewelry on, and you know, I'm like, man, Forte, man, this shit, I'm not even interested in this shit no more. Yeah. He said, Herm, you know why? Because you got it. He said, remember how you felt about that piece of jewelry when you first got it. That's how the public look at it when they see it for the first time. Mm. So don't never underestimate yourself. So the Black Boy Wednesday thing I do is for me to keep my juices flowing, mm-hmm. to keep expanding my mind capacity, mm-hmm. to keep acquiring new knowledge, and to get comfortable speaking in front of an audience. Because if Eric Thomas is making $50,000 for each event, I'm praying that somebody throughout the country hears something that I have said and say, man, you know what? We want to bring this guy in and have him speak. We'll give him $5,000 a event. Yeah. Give me $10,000. Yeah. Okay? And set me up. Okay? And make things convenient. I'm ready to roll. Right. That's why you got to keep studying and you got to keep acquiring knowledge. And, you know, so that's what Black Boy Wednesday is about. And I love it. You know, I love it, you know. Straight up, huh? Like you said, yeah. I liked what you said about forget everybody else. Of course, we want to deliver messages and, you know, we get messages inside us that we need to transfer to the people, but it's to keep you sharp. It's to keep your creative juices flowing. You know what I mean? It's mental exercise. And we got to work
on the craft before we worry about the bag, because the bag gonna come once you perfect the craft, right?
Exactly. Because it's like you don't want to be unprepared when somebody offer you a bag and you talking about, oh, well, I gotta go. No. The mother offered me a bag one day and said, can you come to LA? Can you fly to Seattle? I'm ready.
Yeah.
I'm gonna grab my tablet, I'm gonna grab my information, and I'm ready to do something.
Now.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
My nephew Larry June, he hit me. I'm ready.
Yeah.
I'm ready. And he was impressed. And that right there has enabled me to be on 5 consecutive albums with my nephew, who is one of the hottest Bay Area rappers moving right now.
Straight up.
And I can say, you know, and I'm proud of him, and I'm proud of the opportunity that he has given me. You know what I'm saying? And because you know, he reignited my career. Yeah. By being on his album. And voice. You never know who you inspire. Yeah. He said, man, I remember, man, because he remembered when the compilations was out. Yeah. He was 2 years old, 3, 4 years old at my house. Now. With his dad. Running around. But he remembered I had all this stuff up at my house. Yeah. You know, I had, so he used to come to the house and he was amazed by it. And he brought all that to my attention. I'm like, damn, I didn't know I had that kind of influence on nephew. Said, shit, yeah, you know, so we got, you know, people gonna tell you stuff that you have completely forget. If you have been a righteous person, if you have been a solid individual, and you just been walking the walk, you're not doing it specifically for the bag, you're doing it because God has put something on your heart to do, and you just doing it, people gonna come to you and say, yeah. And I love it, you know. I love it. Just like my son that played 10 years in the NFL. Yeah. My son played at Utah University. You know, we don't have expectations. We just do what's in our heart to do. And if the circumstances materialize to where they successful, your daughter's successful, more power to be, or the people you associate with. You know? Straight up. We talked about the compilation. We talked about a lot of stuff. Tell me what Hunterspoint means to you. Like I said, Hunterspoint, right now, Hunterspoint is Hunterspoint is just not Hunterspoint right now. Today, you want my opinion of Hunterspoint today? Today, Hunterspoint to me is depressing. It's depressing because there's so many individuals that's out there that that's on drugs. Individuals that was on drugs when I was on drugs. Unfortunately, never had the opportunity to get rehabilitated. Now, I'm never going to criticize because only reason I got off drugs, you remember what they used to say back in the days? You didn't get arrested. You got rescued. Now. You was told to fuck up. Right. You wasn't getting no money. You weren't taking care of your kids. You was unproductive. You was just on drugs. So when the police put the cuffs on you and took you to jail, you was rescued. That's what happened to me. A lot of individuals today has had a 20-year run of using drugs. So their mind is deteriorating. They're not leaving the block. They're not leaving third. They're not progressing. It is depressing when I roll through, you know, see some of the homies, I can hit the horn, you know, because it ain't like it used to be. It ain't like we can pull over, hang out, smoke some weed, have a drink, you know, get some money and then bounce. You know, the circumstances have changed. And then, you know, now the killing has deceased a lot. Because a lot of individuals that was originally from Hunterspoint, Harbor Road, West Point, Oakdale, Lawn, a lot of them have moved out to different cities. A lot of them have went and done decades in the penitentiary and just getting out. They don't want to reindulge in that or reignite no conflict. But then there's a lot of individuals that's out there today that miss the era, miss the excitement of the bang, bang, shoot 'em up. You know, so different other individuals that's trying to reignite and keep it going because they didn't get the
It was late to the party.
They was late to the party. And they just heard it from their big cousins or their big homies, and now they babies, they coming off the porch and they want to jumpstart it, but right now it's not the time. You know, and then with this fentanyl and these different type of drugs that's killing people, man. You know, that's killing people. So, you know, circumstances just change. I love Hunterspoint. And my allegiance is gonna always be to Hunterspoint, Harbor Road in particular.
Yeah.
But Hunterspoint overall, you know, and me, I have always been flamboyant. I have always been flexible. I have always been a boss. I have always had the material possessions. I have always had the bag. I have always had the top-notch quality drugs to distribute. So I was able to go to Sunnydale and be respected and associate with the bosses that was over there, whether it was Smurf, LC, L Cheddar, and a host of other individuals from over on that side, Kill Mitchell and all of them. I was able to go to Lakeview, okay, hang out with cougnut, Selski, and the guys over there. I was able to go to Fillmore and hang out with Seth the Gaffler, JT, and all the guys over there, San Quinn, or whoever that was over there. And that was a privilege back then.
Yeah.
And it's still a privilege today. You know, it's still a privilege today to where, you know, the homie Skins gave a party from Fillmore, he gave a party. And there's a Fillmore party. I don't care.
Yeah.
I'm Herm Lewis.
Yeah.
I'm coming to, you know what I'm about.
I'm a San Francisco Giant.
Yeah, I'm a San Francisco Giant. And it's always going to be 3 or 4 people that's Herm. Yeah, that's Herm. It's gonna be some people that's gonna put security on a solid motherfucker.
Yeah.
Because you ain't disrespected the game. You know what I'm saying? And that's what, if I go to Sunnydale, if I go to Fillmore, there's gonna be some man that's Herm. He good people. If I go to West Point, same thing. And I would tell these youngsters, you know, don't be so quick to pull your gun to kill a person. You know, sometimes you gotta give a brother a pass. Give a black man a pass. Okay, y'all had a disagreement, y'all had a confrontation, y'all had a physical altercation, you lost, man the fuck up, and give the brother a pass. Tell your guys to put their guns down, let the man walk away without being in the casket. Give a brother a pass.
Give a brother a pass.
And it's vice versa. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes we got to give a motherfucker a pass, man.
Yeah.
You know?
So I appreciate you so much. We almost on an hour, you know what I mean? I want to double back and do another one with you in the future and stay updated on what you got going on, and also create everybody who's on here. I want to create a network of individuals that's trying to make things happen so we can not only go to each other for information, but make things bigger with each other. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm with it. You know, and like I said, boys, it's like I don't know a lot. A lot of this stuff I don't know. You know, I'm old school, but I'm intelligent. I'm persistent, and if you got something going on that's productive, and you're doing it the right way, and it's not an inconvenient, unstable situation, I'm in.
Now.
I mean, but my time is valuable. My time is valuable.
Right.
And but if it's something that's like when you hit me, and I'm like, oh yeah. But so if it's something that's valuable, that's beneficial to you and me, I'm ready to make something happen. Because Because, like you said, as a motivational speaker, man, just like the guy Wallow, you see the money he get by being a motivational speaker, by speaking his truth, by speaking on his experience.
Mm-hmm.
We got them same experiences. It's just he got discovered and got pulled to the side through being on TED Talk.
Mm-hmm.
All you got to do is just get that platform.
Mm-hmm.
Get that platform to go viral by being on a TED Talk or being at the right event, and you saying the right shit, or somebody see this and say, you know what? I'm gonna use some of what he said. I'm gonna use some of what Voice said. I'm gonna put it together. Okay. Next thing you know, Kanye West they used our shit.
Right.
Or use your voice or my voice.
Right.
Use both of our voices.
Right.
And that shit open the floodgates. That's why we gotta stay creative. That's why we gotta keep our juices flowing and keep acquiring new knowledge and be prepared when the opportunity presents itself. Just like Russell Simmons said, you know, man, I'm listening to 4 bars. And if you ain't got shit to say in 4 bars, man, I lost interest. Be prepared to have, I will never forget that. So I tell artists today, dude, come on, let me hear you kick something. Oh, man. Dude, if Russell Simmons came to me today, if any of these millionaire, billionaire type individuals came to me today and said, man, can you write something? Can you do this? Man, I'm ready. I'm ready to write this fucking thing. I'm ready, right? I'm ready, right, motherfucking. I ain't no, oh man, give me 2 hours.
Let's
Give
go.
me 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Man, let's go. I'm like, shit. You know?
Hey, you've been prepared for this moment all your life, huh? What you mean, huh?
Right. You gotta stay ready, man. What Sugar Free say? If you stay ready,
You
you
ain't
ain't
got
gotta
to
get
get
ready.
ready. You stay straight like that.
Yeah. You know, all these, we done listened to so many different artists, so many different inspirational speeches. It's a lot of this stuff, you know, we can always reflect back on what Sugar Free said. That was 20 years ago.
Yeah.
You feel me? Yeah, that shit still resonates today. What I said 30 years ago, stop the violence and increase the peace, still resonates today.
It is the
You feel
30-year
me?
anniversary too. We on the 30-year anniversary.
30 years, man.
Yeah.
You know, and I appreciate, I appreciate still being relevant.
Yeah.
You feel me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm still relevant. I'm still in the mix.
Straight up.
You know? Yeah.
So let me tell you about my name, Unc. So when I first moved to LA, when I was a little kid, my voice was high pitched, cracking. They didn't know, you know what I mean? So I moved to LA, and it was at a time when my voice started developing. So everybody I would walk into, they'd be like, "Damn, your voice deep, man. Your voice deep." And they just kept on saying that. But when I was a kid, right, everybody used to say my voice was so high, right?
Right.
It was so high that one time I got on a song, and they thought they didn't know if I was a little baby or a girl. They didn't know what I was, Unc, right?
Right.
The name of that song is called "I Smell Jealousy" by Cougnut on Herm's compilation. So you know what I mean? So when I was a little kid, they say, "Who voices that? Who voices that on that song?"
Man, come on, man, you just fucked me up with that. For
Right?
real?
So I graduated, my voice become deeper. They like, damn, this dude's voice. So all my life, they've been worried about or asking about my voice. You know what I mean? So it just all came full circle. So I'm like, man, I'm the voice.
Oh, that's classic. Listen. Who that brought you up in there? Hey, because I met your mom.
Yeah.
Your mom, but I never really I met you with Selsky at
the
I think it was Ron New.
But
I never really got to meet you.
Yeah.
Because you was a kid.
Yeah.
I think you was like, what, 5 years old?
No, I was 13. It was 93. I was 13 years old.
But
I was a baby.
You was like, but when Cougnut brought you in, we in the studio, and Cougnut, like I said, I didn't know nothing. So Cougnut was a veteran.
Yeah.
Whatever he wanted to do was good.
Yeah.
Cougnut say, "Herm, I want my nephew to go in there and say something." I'm like, all right. And you went in there and say, Man, what kind of cologne you got on? Smell like jealousy. The cool say, come on, that's it, that's it. You done that shit in one take, Jake. I won't never forget that.
Man,
Hey, and that right there, I'm gonna tell you something. That right there made the song. That song made the album just as well as the I Got My Nine.
yeah.
And I'm gonna tell you, so Cougnut was your uncle.
My big homie. So IMP and the name IMP is arguable, but they said it came up with the name of my grandmother's house. So my big cousin
Okay.
Andre Price and my big cousin Duke, they was like the big homies for Cougnut and them. So they all used to be at grandma's house all the time. So I was just
Right.
getting a ride to Hunterspoint to my mama's house. My mama's Linda Price. You know what I mean? I was just getting a ride to Cusada Street, huh? They was just coming to get
This
some
is
smoke. And I said, where y'all going, bro? He said, we finna go to the studio. I said, well, let me get a ride to mom's house. I'm going over there to the point. He said, oh, that's cool. As a matter of fact, I'm doing this compilation for Herm. I need you to say something on it. And you know, I'm so excited, but I act like I'm 13 and young. I'm acting like, okay, it's all good, acting like it's nothing. In my mind, I'm about to do a backflip in the car. You know what I mean? And when we
you
did it,
went in there once.
it came out later on, and boy, the people who know, you know, my peers and everybody else who know, I've been famous for that forever, huh?
That's big. That's big. You even more famous. But let me tell you this. Cougnut propelled me. I was already Herm, but I was here.
Yeah.
When Cougnut said, right on my nigga Herm Lou,
Yeah.
my status went from here to here. You hear me?
Yeah.
I'm a dude. Man, and man, Cougnut would talk about that all the time anytime we seen each other. And I didn't know he was going to do that.
Yeah.
But when he said it, with his voice and the way he said it, right on my nigga Herm, and then he had me go in there and do a few ad-libs with him. So he really solidified Herm when he said that.
Yeah.
And may his brother rest in peace. He's from Double Rock. His name was Drake. His name was Andre.
Yeah.
Forgot his last name, but he got murdered, right? Good dude. He probably like your age. Good dude, right? But he used to, anytime he see me, we can be at a party, we can be at a picnic, and he would walk right over my nigga Herm. That's what's up, man. Oh, that's class. Did you said you was gonna bring it all the way
Yeah,
around?
I didn't want to give it to you in the beginning. I said I'm gonna save it for the end before I let go, just so we can end it off on a beautiful note, man. You know what I mean? And I thought that was a
Right.
good way to wrap it up, huh?
Did you got that? You got that CD?
Do I got the? No, I don't got the CD.
I think I got that CD for you.
You know I need it.
I think
you know I got to
that.
put that in the case.
Yeah, I'm looking. I got. I know I got a CD. I'm gonna find a CD for you, and I'm gonna hit you up and make sure you get it.
I appreciate you. I appreciate you so much. I appreciate you for the time. It was amazing. We're going to do it again. And you already know everything you do. I'm going to support it like I always have. Before we had this conversation, right. And what you said before I let you go, that was so key. That's exactly how I feel about my folks. If you're doing something positive, if you're working on something that's productive, if it ain't no messy shit going on, if it ain't no politics, if it's something I can help with and it ain't an inconvenience to either party and it's positive, I'm always in, huh?
That's what's up, baby. I appreciate that. We here. We good. We
All
good.
right.
I appreciate you.
I appreciate you. Well, have a blessed one.
Okay, well,